Everybody, my name is Omar Santos from the Red Team Village, and with me I have Nigel and Ingenio. So, Nigel, if you don't mind introducing yourself.
Yeah, sure. Omar, thanks for having us. Appreciate it. Looking forward to working with you guys again. We're very excited. My name is Nigel LeBlanc, and I'm the CEO and founder of CyberWraith Network. And joining me today is our CISO, Hinio Choa. Just a little bit about me. I am an Air Force member. I've been in the Air Force going, damn, 21 years. Yeah, I'm old. So going to 21 years, I did 10 active and the last like almost 11 in the reserves. Um, and how I kind of got into cyber from 2014 to 2016, I served as the cyber veteran program manager for the state of Maryland. And part of my job there was to help vets launch businesses and careers within cyber. So that was kind of my foray into the business of cybersecurity. Now I'm not your ones and zeros, guys. That'll be Hinio and the rest of our technical team. But just happy to be here, man. So Hinio, you want to tell them a little bit about yourself, brother?
Yeah, hey everybody. I'm Hino Ochoa. If you don't know, I'm the CISO over at CWN. I love everything hacking, security-wise. I've been in this industry for 20 plus years. Grew up in the IRC channels and back ends of pretty much the deepest, seediest places. But yeah, that's really the go. You can go and find my story at Darknet Diaries or any of those wonderful outlets. But that's me. I work right now in the hospital industry, in the healthcare industry, doing incident response on the side, and I do, of course, CWN stuff. So lots of fun stuff.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. And, glad to have you here. And you're being part of the Red Team Village for quite some time, supporting us in many, many events. So, for DEF CON 29, can you give us somewhat of an overview of what we are expecting with CyberWraith? I heard that you guys are giving $1,000 to the first winner, plus job interviews and several other prizes as well. So, can you go over that? And I guess I'll pass it back first to you, Nigel.
Yeah. So, but before we talk about what's happening this year, Omar, let's talk about what happened last year, right?
Yeah.
So when we worked with you guys, that was that was an amazing experience, and we learned a lot, right? And at DEF CON, you got to learn real quick, right? So it was somewhat of a litmus test for us. But so last year we took the top 25, and I think was like a little over 340 50 people who registered, and over 200 participated. So we took the top 25, and they interviewed with companies like Google, Hulu, Healthmark, and that was like our proof of concept, so to speak, right? So startup mode, and then you got to go out and validate these hypotheses, right? And out of the top 25, there was a 14-year-old girl, man. I don't know if you guys know, there was a 14-year-old girl who placed in the top 25. Yeah, yeah. So even more exciting, we're going to be featuring her and her dad, who both played the game last year, and they placed. So they're going to be featured within the stream this year, and they're going to be back to play. And she's also going to be the 14-year-old girl will be on. We'll have a conversation with the CISO from One Login, and women in cyber. We're pretty excited about that. So fast forward this year, right? For guys, for the y'all who don't know, CyberWraith Network, we have positioned ourselves as the first true cyber esports league, right? And our game CyberWraith, you can think of it as Call of Duty for ethical hackers. It's pretty cool. You get to hack drones, cell phones, you complete missions, and the storyline is amazing along with the graphics, right? Very interactive and intuitive. And you can tell you a little bit more about the platform, the capabilities, and the gameplay itself. But what we were able to do was we've matched up the actual gameplay. So while players play the game, we validate their knowledge, skills, and abilities, and we match them up to real world job opportunities, right? So we've created these triggers within the game, and we have this machine learning algorithm that matches the gameplay and the player's performance to not only the NICE 2.0 framework NIST, but also the cyber kill chain and MITRE's attack framework, right? So we are essentially taking the cyber talent industry, and we're kind of gelling it with the whole esports league, right? And we position ourselves that way. So it's kind of esports with a purpose, right? So this year we're going to do similar to setting up these interviews for the top performers. We're also giving away $1,000 for the first prize, $500 for the second prize, and $250 for the third prize. Along with that, we have a whole bunch of swag. We have some pretty cool T-shirts, that stickers and everything that we made. Omar, as you know, you and I and Hino, we will be part of the team that will be in Vegas, and then there will also be an online presence because DEF CON is a hybrid this year. You know, some virtual and some in person. So you know, guys, if you all are going to be out there, definitely stop by and check out the game. Right? I'm sure you'll be very impressed with what we have going on. I'll turn that over to Hinio to talk a little bit more about the game and the capabilities and stuff like that.
Okay, so let me just start off and just kind of blow everyone's mind real quick. I wanted to kind of take a step back and realize a lot of what just got said. And one of the biggest things on that is that behind this game is not a simple little filter where, okay, here, this equals that. The team at CWN has spent a lot of time on this algorithm so that you're not going to get these, oh, you're perfect for this match, right? And it's like a 10 times developer and things like that. Like a lot of work was put on our back end. Now, that being said, the obvious problem is, man, I've played every hacking game created since 1985-ish, give or take. And they all really try, but it's really hard to take what we do and turn it into a game. And well, that's what happens. And that's what happened. And so we have this really great, the best way to think about it is really it is an operating system, right? And so you get to use our operating system to play a series of puzzles. So imagine if you had a DEF CON contest 24 hours a day. On top of that, we have the capabilities of creating networks and entire 3D worlds and environments. And so when we say you can hack a drone, and do cool stuff like that, we mean there's likely, and depending on the scenario and where it is, in some cases you're simply looking at a 3D map of, say, the topography, and you're trying to look for heat signatures. In other cases, you might actually see from the perspective of this other drone, right? We have light out scenarios, we have full functioning 3D environments, and it's really immersive. There's real stories, there's real writing. And so it's not something that one generally gets bored in. If you know penetration testing or hacking in general, you know it's a lot of the same commands. You're using a lot of the same tools in different scenarios. And while there is some repetition, because in most hacking there is repetition, I think we've done a really good job, and the team that supports the game itself has done a really good job at taking all of the things that most of us find as mundane and turned it into a really fun experience. And we got everything from open source intelligence. You're on the command line. You know, you got real life feedback. All our favorite tools are mapped in a way or another into these gamified tools. So while to someone who is new to the experience and they're just learning, they're like, man, I think I might want to get into cybersecurity, we can honestly say, man, play our game. Because you'll real quickly find out what you love about cybersecurity. You'll real quickly find out what your goal is. And we on the back end are really keeping track of how you do and what you do. And then we give that to presenting that to the employers. And so when someone says, man, we want somebody who's fresh, they love hacking, but they're just new to the industry, we need someone who's willing to learn. Well, guess what, man? We can get you from that want to that employee. And it's all real. You can try and fake it if you want, but ultimately, I can tell you the guys in the back end have done a really good job to ensure that we're going to find all the little skills that most people don't even think to even test for, because there hasn't been a really good way to test it. And I think we have found really the small place in the middle that helps us do that translation for people. Literally, you have a team where there's me. I'm in depth. I could tell you ridiculous amounts of code and stuff. And you got Nigel. And Nigel will stare at you and say, I don't know what you want me to do with this code. Right? And using that dynamic, we have successfully brought this project to where it is now.
So, Omar, this kind of brings back some memories. So the first time that we kind of debuted the game and CyberWraith at any live event, that was at Texas Cyber Summit, right? And and it's funny. This is how new I'm still very new to the cyber culture, right? You know, that's why I had to go out and get subject matter experts like Hinio and some other folks on the team. Anyways, so we're at Texas Cyber Summit, and we have all of the laptops set up, and we're running the games, right? And we're inviting people to come over. And there were some like seasoned people, like, hey, you know what? Just like he said, I've seen every game, whatever it is. Maybe I'll sit down for 10 minutes, right? An hour and a half later, we're nudging each other and be like, and this is the same person who's still sitting here, right? And then they come back the next day, and then they come back the third day, right? So we were standing. Then they had the big photo background next to our booth, right where we were at. And Hinio goes, hey, do you know who that is? And he I'm gonna let you share the story. I won't mention the name. I'll let you break it. I'm like, no, I don't. He's like, well, dude, you've ever heard of Hack5? Kind of. Well, I still don't, right? So I'm out of it, right? So I'll let Hinio say who we met, and then he can tell you how long she actually sat there and ended up playing the game.
That was our mutual good friend Shannon. Yeah, it was one of those weird things. I grew up in this industry, so to me, just seeing her walk down, like, oh, I know exactly who that is, right? I saw Jason E Street there. I'm like, hey, there's Jason. Yeah, it's really is just funny. But she sat down and she started playing, and you could tell, she was doing her job. Her job's to go down there and take a look at some stuff, and we're that stuff. But as soon as that boom goes on and the intro music goes, I guess the best way I could put it is, if you ever sat down and been like, whether it's hackers or sneakers or anything, you're like, man, I wish I was in a movie where I could be the badass hacker, right? If you ever thought that, this is the game for you, because from the beginning all the way to the end, it's very much in your face. You're the guy, you're the man, you're learning an operating system, you're learning the hacking, you're learning your thing, your skill. And if you're really good at it, then there you go. If you're not, there's tons of tutorials, there's tons of walkthroughs on some of the earlier levels. There's a lot available to kind of, because again, we're not trying to make it where this is an impossible game. We're not gonna do really well if nobody can play it. We want you to play it, we want you to learn, we want you to have fun, and we want you to tell us what you want. But yeah, I agree. It was just totally amazing to see all these people come in, and I mean, Nigel, you got to admit, as soon as he came to me with the first day, hey man, we got a game. One of the first things I told him was, come on, man.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, man. I played 100 of these things, dude. This is not gonna go well. But then at the same time, I called him. I think that Monday, I had the weekend to play it. I had beat it. The whole time I was like, oh my God, this is the best game we've played. I've ever played. I can't imagine.
I still have that email though, by the way.
that in $1 in our first $1, right? That should be what's printed up, because that's when we knew, okay, we found that mix.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Hey, so we actually have a few people that I want to give shout outs to, both in YouTube and Twitch. But there's a couple of questions actually coming in. The first one is, where do we get on the game? And I think that the ad is coming, but I probably missed it. Actually, I put a banner in the bottom of your screen. So if you go to redteamvillage.io/CyberWraith, you can register right now. As a matter of fact, I'm going to share my screen so you can see the page. And we're going to go over the registration process in a second. And there's a very cool trailer in that video. I'm not going to play it right now because, of course, we're actually streaming and you're going to be hearing it. But at the end of the video today, I will definitely make a note. But again, redteamvillage.io/CyberWraith. The second question that I got from Rafael Choco is, I chose this package. So basically, greetings, I'd like to change the game package. Is it possible to rerun that setup? And then he had a follow-up to that question. That I have chosen the Windows package, but I would like to change that. Is that possible to do that?
To Mac? Does he want to change it to Mac? If he wants to change it to Mac, just tell him to go ahead and just do a new registration, and then shoot us a note. And then Omar, what I'm going to do is I'm also going to send you our Discord server.
Okay.
Or he can just connect with us on the Red Team Discord server in our channel, and then we can take care of him.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then, how long is the game? Von Dracula.
So for me, all right. So this dude, he completed the game in a weekend. I was barely past the what was it, the academy in the damn weekend, right? So, he's laughing. It was all fun and games for him. And I'm pissed off because my wife is pissed off at me. I'm spending the whole weekend playing this damn game, right? So it really is, how much time that you dedicate to the game, no matter what your experience level, right? Now, the cool thing about the game is that once you complete the academy, and kind of like Higgs said, it's like you're joining this clandestine organization, like the pseudo NSA, and you go through the academy. You have two AIs. That's one is your sergeant, the other one is kind of like your colleague slash trainer. But then you go out and you can either just kind of like choose your own destiny, right? You can go out and you can do the story mode, which is like damn near over 80 missions, right? And then you could either choose that or the bounties, right? So that's your standard, bounties type of. And then the coolest one is the open world missions. So this is like real. You know what? I'm not Higgs. Go ahead and tell them about the open world missions and
Okay.
describe
Yeah.
it.
So, I definitely was going to let him finish that one. But let me tell you how this game doesn't have an end. Now, when I had got to the end of it, we had finished all the content that was currently available. That included 3 actual full missions, right? Which were about 30 minutes to an hour apiece. There was something like 25 or more bounties, which are just imagined side quests if you're an avid gamer. And then we had open world missions, which were very much side quests with open source intelligence gathering stuff. So you may need to go to a real wiki page or a real domain name and grab said piece of information. Currently, we are up to, I believe, like 5 or 6, if not more, with so many content packages constantly coming out because it's all customizable and that's what it was made for. We also have what is called a hive mind. So from your player base, now this is something that kind of close to heart, but it's something that I think anyone who's heard understands. We have administration packages where you can actually build content for the game. Now, obviously, we don't let that for everybody. There's different packages like that, and that's more of someone else's job. But the point is that if you're looking for a game that you can just go in and say, yeah, man, I beat it. It was no problem. This ain't it. I'm telling you, if you come into this game thinking how I know every game, I've played every game, I know it, I'm the best gamer, this is gonna mess you up. You're doing crypto puzzles like you find on the back of these badges and coins in real life, right? This is these are real tests that have been gamified instead of a gamification of fake weak tests that kind of give an idea. So if you think that you can sit down and play it in a weekend, if you're lucky, you can get really far. I can tell you I've had to play this game 15, 16 times, and I can no longer go from beginning to end in an entire weekend because it's literally just so much content. And while that content is going, bounties will pop off. Now, as it was hinted in earlier, you can decide to pick a side, right? So if you're the way we like to say it is think NSAI, but on a world conglomerate, right? You're outside of any one government. So if you help, for instance, a bounty with GRU, that may affect how your bounties with the USA go, right? Or with Israel and all these little there's so much sub story here for you to really get involved in. I don't want to give it all away, but I can promise you, if you want a solid number, guarantee 48 hours to 72 before you start saying, okay, I got it. And 72 plus hours is where I would start because there really is a lot of stuff going on with there. Everything from Maltego for stuff to hacking into phones, satellites, drones. Like it gets crazy.
Awesome. And I think actually you just answered another question that came in a few minutes ago. What are the missions consist of? And that was actually perfect. Now there is another follow-up question. So for first person, will it be given, I guess, for people that are doing this for the first time, will it be given to whoever gets into furthers during DEF CON, or is this person only can do it virtually? So let me paraphrase, I think, to understand. So basically, I think the question is, are the contest prizes only for the time frame during DEF CON, or is it actually if I start playing right now?
Yeah,
Uh,
so it's for the time frame during DEF CON. So the rules are very specific, right? Someone could go out and say they wanted to complete the game right now. Guess what? You got to download the game, be fresh, and that's where you get considered for the prize. Still make it fair across the board, and it's not relegated to the people who are only playing at at DEF CON itself at the location. It's going to be the best of both. All right. So for us, we're all about skills matter, right? You've demonstrated that you're a badass, then you should be paid and you should win. It's that simple.
Perfect. Awesome. And I think those are the pending questions that we have. Do you mind if I actually share real quick the screen when we go over the registration process?
Sure.
So once again, I'll put the banner also in the bottom of the screen. This link is just very easy. Our website, redteamvillage.io/CyberWraith. Once you go there, you go into registration. So it says registration now open, and it will take you to this page. And I'll pass it back to you so you can explain.
So I'm not going to read the screen because I think everybody here on the opposite end is way smarter than I am. So, but the biggest thing to kind of take in mind when you're registering is that there is a code for each tournament, and there is one specific to DEF CON. It is in the information package and is in the registration packet, right? So the screenshots that you have, and if you will scroll a little bit lower here, please. Right. So that screenshot is after you've gone through the initial registration, you're going to get essentially inside access to your profile on CWN. And once you do that, there's a tournament registration, which then you go in and you use that code, which is specific to the DEF CON tournament, and then that way we'll know that you're in, right? And once you do that, it's all just piece of cake from there, right? The rules are also on the main page, Omar. So they'll be taken to the rules page after they go through this process here, right? When they complete it, and it will answer questions like the last one. Hey, when will I be considered? Like what time frame, right? And now keep in mind, if you are in the market for a job, right? Our mission is to essentially put butts in seats, like get the best people, right, into and connect them with really good and cool employers, right? Be sure to upload your resume, right? And then ping us if you have any issues, because at the end of the event, just like we did last year, we're going to take the best of the best, right? And we have employers, from Air Force Civil Services, right? One Login, Google. We have some major partners who really want to see what your skills and your talent is like, right? So, I mean, if you think about it, Omar, one of the defining factors for us, we knew that we weren't going to be another job hunting firm. We knew we weren't going to be another LinkedIn, or we weren't going to be another job board, right? Our biggest thing is, how do we essentially deploy data science to validate knowledge, skills, and abilities, right? To make sure we know that we are de-risking an employer's next cyber hire. But on the flip side, the coolest thing about it is that if you are in the market for no matter where you are in your career, except CISO, right? Except if you're very high up, right? But if you're a beginner or intermediate, you don't have to modify your resume 100 times to beat an applicant tracking system, because our algorithm does that for you, right? So, this is a really easy way to have fun, to learn, to prove your skills, and then let us do the heavy lifting, right? So, for everybody who's participating in the tournament, even if you're not particularly looking for a job right now, it's always good to have your resume on there, because when you are open for an opportunity, then we can help you market yourself really effectively.
Okay. And that actually, I guess, goes into the next question, which is it a requirement to have any of the information there, or can I play without uploading the resume?
Yes, you can play and win the contest without, or even get prizes within the contest without the resume. The resume is not a requirement for the contest. The only two things that we require for people, obviously, is to actually have an email where we can reach you to send you the gift, and then you're required to stream at least 20 minutes on Twitch. All right. So those are the two requirements to and have fun, right? So you don't need your resume in order to qualify for the prizes and
Perfect.
participate.
Thank you. So I think that those are all the questions that I see from both. Actually, no, there's another one just came in. How will the winner be determined? I think you actually went over that, but if you can refresh.
So within the game system, we have our own algorithm that does all the weighting and matching and scoring. And then there is also within the actual game mechanics, it shows you your scores and your rank. So essentially, we're doing this on a timed basis, right? And we may or may not, I just put that out there, have a scenario where the top qualifying people will have to kind of go prove their skills there. To be determined. That's all I'll say about that. But anyway, so essentially, we will have the leaderboard up during the contest, the entire contest. You will always see where you rank, and you'll get to see who are the winners and the leaders.
Awesome. So I'm just looking at. Oh, there's more comments. So I know that some of you actually just joined. Some of you actually are asking again on how to join or sign up for the game. It is in redteamvillage.io/CyberWraith. I'll leave that in there just in case, because I know that just people are coming in. And then the last one is: are there requirements for the stream on Twitch? Just wondering because my very small resolution got messed up. So somebody's already planning to win this thing. So he's asking about the stream. So that's pretty good. So extra points
So
for White Cup too.
yeah, I'll turn that over to Higgs. I know that we're still working on packaging everything together, but Higgs, if you can give a little more info on that, would be great.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you gave it your best, that's all we're asking. We want to see you have fun. We want to see you play this game. We want to see you take the hacker spirit of, you know, um, um, being in a situation where you don't have all the answers, and you have to go learn. And sometimes Twitch facilitates that, be having to put yourself out there and put it on there. So yeah, look, if you have a low resolution, I wouldn't see a super problem with it. If it, again, this is DEF CON. We expect there to be, that hacker mentality going on. We expect some people to try to cheat and that kind of stuff. So we understand that there's some situations, that you might not be able to have the super Twitch with all the cool look, go on, do your 20 minutes, hit us up, it counts. As long as you're having fun, that's really what this is about. Having fun learning and trying to give back to the community that gave back to us.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So, wow, more comments. Some of them we already went over before. There's a new one that is: what is the difficulty from a challenge perspective? And I think that you hit on that whenever you're talking about, he knew actually completing this in a shorter amount of time. I don't want to throw you under the bus.
Yeah, that's a Higgs question. That's not it for me. I shouldn't be talking about this.
Look, you're not, and there isn't, I don't believe, a way to test every single skill set we have in information security, okay? But I will tell you that we've done a very good job of covering as much as possible. This isn't where you have to know a very specific exploit, or you have to know, the command lines for an obscure piece of software released in 1940, right? It's not that super complex. What it does test is things that aren't normally tested, So is it challenging? Yeah, that's the main idea behind it. But it's not impossible. So I believe that if you're super new to hacking, or you're thinking about getting into hacking, this is the game for you. If you've hacked every day of your life for the last 25 years, this will be the game for you. Not because it's super hard, because you might discover that, ooh, maybe cryptography is not my super thing. Maybe I'm not as observant as I think I am. There's a lot of self-discovery in this game that I believe a lot of people can find too. So I would say it's not the challenge of it is not a barrier for entry. So if you think it's going to be too easy, and you don't want to waste your time, I mean, that's your own choice. But I can tell you right now that there's enough content there that you may have your workflow down, right? You do your recon, you got your exploits, you got your pivoting, you got all that kind of stuff. But I don't think anyone is going to just necessarily walk all the way through it and say in an evening. But then again, it's DEF CON, so it could happen. We're not saying we're the super challenges game. We're saying, hey, we challenge you to give us a try. And so it's welcome for everybody. If you have an hour or 5 and you want to come and just chill out, remember, one of the things I don't think it's touched on a lot is the game actually has the ability for you to self-host essentially, and what is essentially an IRC internally to you and to your buddies. And so you don't have to hack alone, man. Bring your crew, bring your buddies, sit in a lobby, start a little fun game or something. It's going to be challenging on whoever you are and whatever you're doing, but it's not going to be so challenging that no one's going to have fun. That's not the point.
And as a matter of fact, I think that you just touched in the question that came in a few seconds ago. Are you allowed to create a team and win as a team, or it has to be an individual?
So for this one, it's just individual, but we will be coming out with the team version.
Okay, perfect.
The communication though, so if you have, there is an internal communication, so that's between you guys, there is chat enabled and that kind of stuff, so you can talk, but the winning, I believe, is simply for the individual.
So this just means that only one person receives the actual prize. How you guys split that up between you and your crew, that's on you, right? So I mean, like Higgs said, invite your friends, get your teams together. And if you want to do this, I mean, if nonetheless, you're just prepping for our event next year, right, Omar? So next year it will be a team event. So you're just prepping for that.
Awesome. Now, the other question that we got is actually many questions from the same individual, but let me try to do one at a time. It's all about the Twitch stream, right? So the first one is, do we have to record the Twitch transition? I assume that it's actually the Twitch stream, or share our Twitch channel. Is it going to be specific to an hour to stream, or can it be a full stream for all the hours that we play? How does that work?
So we'll be coming out with details about how to share the Twitch stream, and when and where, so to speak. When I say where is from a link perspective, right? So we'll be getting all of that information before the actual event itself, and we'll be updating folks throughout the event. So
perfect.
I mean, but I'm sorry, but say if it's go on.
No, go ahead.
No, yeah, I was just gonna say, just on that note, if you want to stream the whole time, stream the whole time. If you're like, hey man, I'll stream my stuff, but I really don't want to be seen, or I really don't like my voice, whatever. Let us know so we can validate it. We'll never talk about it again. However, if you like getting on Twitch and you want to talk, you want to show that off, go all day, go 3 days, go all of DEF CON. Let us know. We might even throw you up on our stream, do what we can. Like I said, we're all about the community and helping the community kind of keep on that fun in hybrid DEF CON. So,
and if you do stream a whole lot, you never know what swag is going to come your way. You never know. So,
and there's a question that I think that I can address. Is the CyberWraith CTF different than the one on the Eventbrite? So for those of you that don't know what the one in Eventbrite means, there are 2 different contests that is actually happening from the Red Team Village. Let me actually go back to the site real quick, and I'm going to share it. So if you go to our website, you're going to see 2 contests in there. One is the DEF CON Red Team Village CTF and the DEF CON RTV CyberWraith. The one that we're talking about right now is the CyberWraith. The CTF, yes, it actually takes you, if you want to register to Eventbrite, it's the same thing. It's not, that's a separate contest. So we have 2 contests during DEF CON. Both of them are hybrid. So you don't have to be on site to participate. But if you're on site, we're all going to be sitting in the same place, right? Very close to each other. So, and I'll strongly recommend for you to meet with us, right? To meet with the team and so on, right? So DEF CON is all about not only, the presentations and the contests, but it's actually developing this network. So Absolutely. Now, there's another follow-up question that says, I didn't see any specific listed if I needed something special as far as hardware requirements for CyberWraiths, like PC specs, can I do
No,
this?
I think
Sixth generation i5 ThinkPad?
yeah, I think all we need is a gig of RAM, right, Higgs, and then everything is pretty much.
I cannot stress enough to the people out there that when we say game, this is not cyberpunk, right? This is not a giant, huge thing. This game is literally stripped down the best. You need like a gig of RAM, half of a Pentium chip, and the thing runs. We are using latest Unity engine, but it's not. It's really beautiful how well it was done, that we don't sacrifice. There's not a tons of super flashy graphics and things like that, but it's until you see it, until you play it, you'll understand. But I promise you can run it on just about anything.
Perfect. And then the last question that we got here, I missed the chance to get a virtual ticket and any other options to do it virtually. Any question?
So we will have. I know that we'll probably have some more events with the Red Team Village, right? But you can always check back from our website. That right there is more of a DEF CON question, other than a CW, like a Red Team Village as a contest, CyberWraith contest. What I do recommend is get at us on either the Red Team Village Discord or on our own Discord channel. And that way we can see how we can get you into the experience. So just hit us up and we can work the back channels to see what we can do there.
And I think that addressed the last question about the Eventbrite. Somebody was actually asking about Eventbrite. Don't think you need a ticket to participate. So this is not a for fee thing, right? So there's registration.
Right, no.
You don't have to pay extra. It's completely for the community.
Yeah, and whenever we do our events, we never charge for the actual event. So we do this to give back and to build the community itself.
Awesome, thank you. I think that those are all the questions that we have had so far. We actually been here for a little while. Thank you so much again for not only participating in this stream, for all the support that you have given the Red Team Village for quite some time, and also DEF CON. And again, if you are just listening in right now, feel free to register yourself for CyberWraith. The link is in the bottom of the screen, and I also have it in the description of the videos in both places. So with that, thank you again, and I'll end the broadcast right now.
Thank you. It's been fun.